Have you ever been praised for being wise beyond your years when you were just a little child? That compliment might actually be the most painful curse disguised as a shiny gold star for good behavior. The image of a boy staring out a window with tired eyes holds a secret we must uncover together. Today, we reveal the dark psychological mechanics of children who were forced to grow up way too fast. You probably feel guilty for resting, or feel like the entire world is resting on your shoulders alone. That persistent weight is not an accident, but a deep emotional wound carved into your very early years. In psychology, we call this parentification, or a total role reversal between a child and their primary caregiver. Instead of playing, you learned hypervigilance to survive the emotional instability of the adults living around you. Your developing brain skipped the play phase to master the art of predicting moods and managing household crises. Imagine the boy in the photo scanning his mother's face the second she walks through the front door. He isn't playing with toys, but acting as a tiny therapist for people who should be protecting him. Every time he stayed quiet and handled everything himself, he was rewarded with a very hollow smile. This reinforced the dangerous belief that showing any weakness would lead to total abandonment or emotional chaos. Cortisol flooded his young nervous system, keeping him in a permanent state of high alert for many years. Now, you are a high-performing adult who is secretly crumbling under the weight of everyone's needs. You are a chronic people pleaser who attracts broken souls because you were trained to fix them. That silence in the boy's eyes is the scream of a childhood stolen to serve someone else's pain. This forced maturity led to perfectionism because you felt a single mistake would destroy your entire fragile world. You can read a room instantly, but have no idea what your own heart actually wants right now. This bone-deep exhaustion is not from your job, but from decades of carrying an adult's heavy burden. Your amygdala is overactive and constantly scanning for the next disaster, even when you are totally safe. You struggle with deep intimacy because you fear opening up means becoming someone else's emotional slave again. You view your own needs as secondary and self-care as selfish because you were raised to give. In that boy's world, failure was not an option because it meant losing the emotional safety of his family. Being the pillar of support so early stripped you of the ability to simply play and be messy. You might not even remember the last time you felt truly safe and cared for by someone else. The survival skills that kept you alive back then are now the walls blocking your true happiness today. The sadness behind your strong face is a funeral for the child who died way too soon inside. The first step to freedom is admitting that what happened to you was not normal or fair. You must realize you are not the emotional savior for anyone, and you never were supposed to be. Start building hard emotional boundaries and learn to say no without the crushing weight of old guilt. Close your eyes and talk to that little boy inside you who did so much all by himself. Tell him he has the right to cry and he doesn't have to be responsible for everyone anymore. Giving yourself permission to be useless sometimes is the best medicine for your tired and wired nervous system. Look for simple joys and tell yourself that the war is over and you are finally safe now. Growing up fast was not your fault, but proof of your incredible strength to survive the unthinkable. Thank your younger self for getting you here, but tell him you will take the lead from now. Vulnerability is not failure, but the humanity that was stolen from you and finally belongs to you. When you drop the burdens that aren't yours, the world becomes a lot less terrifying to inhabit. The boy's sad eyes will slowly turn into steady strength as you finally start to understand yourself. You were not born to be an emotional sponge, but to live a life that is truly yours. Healing from parentification takes time and a massive amount of self-compassion, so please do not rush. You lost your childhood, but today you have the power to create a new one within yourself. Every tear shed while listening to this is a sign that your healing process has finally begun. Embrace that fatigue with love and tell yourself you won't carry the world alone ever again. The heavy silence will become true peace when you stop listening for other people's emotional storms. You are a magnificent survivor, and living for your own joy is the ultimate tribute to that child. But do you ever wonder why this need for perfection keeps pulling you into toxic relationships today? Next, we will explore the magnetic pull between the over-responsible child and the emotional taker. If this story felt like a mirror to your soul, subscribe to Psychology Essentials for the keys. Understanding yourself is the start of freedom, and we are here for every step of your journey. Stop letting your past dictate your future, because you are finally the one holding the steering wheel. Thank you for listening and for giving yourself the chance to start healing your heart today. See you in the next chapter, where we break the cycle of fear and build your new life.